In this live self-defense video, we'll be talking about this simple and effective self-defense tool. This could save your life. It's a Japanese tanbo or Okinawan tanbo, just an 18-inch stick. This one is 1.25 inches in diameter. It's made out of oak. You can see that you can strike very hard with it. So it takes all the power of your strike and concentrates it into the tip here, which is a hard piece of wood, smashing his nose, his teeth, his throat down, or his throat, crushing it, his solar plexus, maybe into the groin. You can very quickly and effectively defend yourself with this. You can also, carrying it in this position, use this to block. But I want to show you some basic techniques. And the first way I want you to think about carrying it is in this way right here. Now this way allows you to keep the length away from his grip. So he might reach out and grab that and then you're wrestling with it. But if you slide it down here, it's more concealed. It's in your hand like this. You put your hand, stop, back up. Of course, he can see it if he goes to swing at you, or maybe he has a bladed weapon and you get into your flinch block, you can deflect or intercept that blade with a hard piece of wood as opposed to your flesh and bones. You don't want to block with that. So you have an option to defend with that. But carrying it in this position is the first way we'll talk about it. In this position, you take a nice, hard, firm grip and simply thrust. And you're targeting the soft tissue of his face. Think about what you can remove or destroy. His ability to see or breathe temporarily, his ability to breathe permanently, his ability to breathe or stand up when you strike him in the solar plexus, or even down between the belly button and the private parts, just thrusting straight in. And you're gonna keep your elbow down and turn through your shoulders and hips. And I want you to train with a short stick. Again, this is 18 inches long. Train by turning your shoulders and your hips and extending the arm, and get a really good thrusting motion and work on your accuracy. You can put it in the other hand in practice. You should be ambidextrous in your self-defense. Just practice striking. If you have something to strike, like a bag or a stack of tires, a pole wrapped in some kind of carpet, then you can practice that. But if you don't have something to hit, then don't hit it. Now from here, the next way striking from this hand position is going to be coming forward and flipping the long side out away from your arm by turning your wrist or opening your wrist. So from here, you can bring it around and strike. I always kind of watch my hand when I put that up there because it hurts when you do that. But bringing this around, this turn of your shoulders and hips allows you to snap that across his cheek or into his temple, into his neck for self-defense. Coming through this way. You can also bring it up in that same motion, twisting up under his jaw or up under his chin. You can bring that into his solar plexus, into his body. You can snap that up under his groin in this position right here. Once you get it in that extended position, now like an ice pick coming down over the top. You can go into his throat, into his teeth, his mouth for self-defense, down into the solar plexus again, but striking. You can even do a lot of damage for self-defense, striking that hard piece of wood right at the top of his chest. Hello, G. Carlton, it's good to see you. So think about thrusting, think about snapping this part out here. You can also just take this short piece and by turning your body, jam that whole piece right into his ear or into his jaw, into his ribs, swinging in this position. You have this long lever, your shoulder all the way down to your fist, and then coming out of your thumb side is that piece of wood. You're gonna generate a lot of power, stopping power, striking somebody. Now those are all the strikes in this position. You can also get your other hand on it and you can come in kind of like a short staff, striking with two hands into his body here, or bringing it up and thrusting this way, bending the knees, getting below him and lifting, using the power of your legs to push up and into his body. Hello, Elite, it's good to see you. But you're bringing it in, thrusting, and the most important part is, what are you targeting? You have to target his eyesight, his breathing, temporarily, permanently, his ability to hear or his inner ear. You can bring that through and smash him in the head, right in the temple for self-defense. You have all those basic strikes holding it in this position. I want you to practice all of them. Thrusting, swinging, with the reverse hand, this snapping motion where the wrist goes sideways, comes up. You can bring it down at an angle. You can bring it across the other side, smashing the other side of his face for self-defense. and then putting two hands on it, this reversing strike or thrusting motion, and then of course this thrusting motion, which is very powerful. Then from this position, and you can either spin it in your hand, you might want to practice that, or if you don't want them to take it out of your hand, simply slide it down and slide it up. So you practice this, so when you need to, you can change from this position to this position, and now you have a thrusting or a slashing weapon coming through, turning your shoulders and hips, striking into his temple, his jaw, coming straight down on the top of his head with a vertical strike, a horizontal strike coming into, maybe you're sitting on a bench, you're striking into his knees, into his ribs, into his shoulder, into his arm. Maybe he did bring out that weapon, and you're smashing through that weapon, or you're smashing his hand that holds that weapon. And you can see you have reach advantage with this simple self-defense tool that might be able to save your life. Hello, Sensei Emmett. Hello, Silent Walk. Good to see you. Put that back in the pocket. But I want you to practice these basic motions. Turning through, following through all of your strikes, coming through and back, and then again, swinging with that big, giant lever, and all of your body, all the weight of your body swinging, coming through and sticking that into his jaw, into his neck, into his temple, his ear for self-defense, into his ribs. This is another good one. If you're seated, if you're on the park bench, or you're on the bus, you're on the train, you can do a lot to defend yourself with a simple stick. From this position, I want you to also practice turning your hand over and snapping. Doing the snapping motion, you can bring it from one hand to the other hand very quickly. Notice that you're gonna turn your shoulder to increase your reach so you can get even closer, coming this way, that way, coming this way, snapping, turning it over. And it's all about the target. What can you remove or destroy? His ability to see, breathe, walk, be awake, anything you can for self-defense. Now I was, as I'm sure a lot of you have seen, there have been a lot of these types of attacks with bladed weapons. There was the guy who started Cash App last week in San Francisco. And I'm not saying that this is gonna save everybody's life, but this could be the difference between life and death. And if you have no other choice, if it's just you and your hands, or if you had a stick that you carry with you, or you make a stick out of a rolled up newspaper, or you carry a self-defense umbrella. They make umbrellas now that are shorter umbrellas for self-defense that are nearly unbreakable, and they're extremely strong. And they also have the longer self-defense umbrella, and I think it's called self-defense umbrella. I'll look for a link and try to put it up. I don't sell them, but I've been trying to get one so we can do some of these videos. But you can use a regular short umbrella, and that's, again, better than nothing. There are a lot of things you can pick up. You can pick up a spatula. You might be cleaning the windows on your car with that nasty, you wouldn't be cleaning the windows with it, but you know what I mean? If you've ever been at a self-service gas station, you pump the gas, and there's always a wand in there, and you pull it out, it's got a squeegee on one side and a sponge on the other side. It's got that dirty blue water, and it's meant to clean your windshields. But you might have to you might pick it out. Someone approaches you aggressively, you think they have something like this, and you have nothing else, and you pull that out, all of a sudden you have reach advantage, and you can do all of these same striking techniques with that squeegee or sponge or whatever it is, that wand that you use to clean your car window. But practice the basic techniques. The greatest thing about using the Tanbo self-defense stick is that if you learn how to use the Tanbo self-defense stick, the skill of self-defense using a stick goes with you wherever you are, whether you have your stick that you train with or not. I make these sticks and send them out to a lot of people have bought these now, and a lot of people here in my classes and online. There's a link below if you want to see what they cost. They're very inexpensive, but you can make your own. You don't have to buy one from me. Go get a dowel rod at a do-it-yourself store. I always like this thicker one now. It's 1.25 inches. If you have bigger hands, if not, go for 1 inch. But that bigger diameter oak allows you to hit really hard. You're gonna have to sand it. You're gonna have to oil it up really well. That brings the life back into it, makes it more flexible. It also makes it heavier with the oil. So you can practice these basic strikes. From this position, all of these slashing, swinging strikes are also augmented by a two-handed grip where you're thrusting again or shoving straight through his teeth. My favorite strike of all time. You can bring it swinging in one way and swinging in the other way. because your two hands are on it, you now have more leverage. You now have more power in every strike because both of your hands are on your stick. From here, you can get one hand off, snap quickly, smash him down on the top of his head, take two hands and stick it through his teeth and blast him right through the nose with this hard piece of oak for self-defense if you have to. And again, it's not the perfect solution for this. And someone would say, well, you know, you should have one of these if he has one of these. Well, maybe you can't carry one of these. A lot of people can't, most places in the world. But you can carry one of these, or you can learn. Yeah, Silent Walk said made some oak ones on the weekend. Awesome. Practice, practice, practice. If you don't have your stick with you, you have the stick skills in your body, in your hand, in your mind, in your heart. Because you practiced a lot, you'll make a stick, you'll find a stick. A stick from the ground becomes a club, and you can just immediately use it for self-defense. So let me know in the comment section if you have made your own, or if you have one of mine, or if you've never thought about it, but you're interested in using a stick for self-defense. If you're not interested, put that in the comment section too, and why not? Why do you think this is good, or why do you think this is bad? We all learn from each other when we start to share in that comment section. That's why this is the virtual dojo. But practice basic techniques, get good at the basics. You'll be able to defend yourself better. There are a lot of cool things you can do to do pressure points, spin his arm behind his back, intercept knives and do twists and stuff. But the best thing is just hit him before he hits you for self-defense. If it's you know, some kind of competition or match, all the rules are different, but this is a pure self-defense. That's all we're talking about. Two hands, smash, smash, snap him on his head. That's a twist of the wrist. Practice that twisting motion over and over again. Get powerful wrists, powerful forearms. I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you.